All right, welcome to the front area of Pop Century. This is the board coach chair. And the drop-off area. To the right here is luggage assistance, where you can drop off your luggage to pick up later today, or if you're checking in. That way you can have them stored for you until you get here. We roll around. This is the front entrance. We'll go in just a second. This is a golf cart shaped like a 50s car. Then you'll see these pillars right here, all the way down. And at the end of that is the bus stop area for all the parks. So we'll head back in through the front entrance and into the front lobby, which if you do the online check-in, you'll never have to visit like we haven't had to visit. So this is our first time this trip coming in. And here's the lobby of Pop Century. As you come in to the right will be a little kids area where they can go in and watch some of their favorite cartoons. And then all the way down the walls are these great shadow boxes relating to each of the decades. Here on the other side, once again, is the lobby area should you need to come up here and talk to somebody. There's plenty of people 24/7. Take care. And they have pictures behind them of Disney throughout the years and pop culture. On this side, we're looking at the 60s again. And moving up through the 70s. And there's one of those actual Mickey phones. You'll see hints everywhere to what the icons will be and the big will. We'll glide through the 80s. And the 90s. The laptop computer that we saw. There's a compact one right there. And a snowboard, why not? So as you see before us, there's the transportation hub right there that we saw from the outside. The business center is also over there. Everything pop, shopping and dining, which we'll go into in a second. To the right will be the pool and the fast forward arcade. Quite a large arcade here. Big Space Invaders game. It goes all the way back, so tons of games for all the kids to play. Huge arcade here at Pop Century. Just want to step outside those doors right next to the arcade for a second. Show you that the Pedals pool bar is right here, like as promised before. Full bar out here by the pool for anything of your adult beverage needs. They're opening the pool up for the morning. And over here, here's a look at the current recreational activities for you to take a look at. And of course the movie Under the Stars. It's happening every week. We'll head back into the classic hall here. Back into everything pop, shopping, and dining. The unique thing about this and Art of Animation is they kind of redid it. So in the All-Stars, the shops are on the side and the food court is straight ahead. But here, the shop is the entryway to the dining hall. So you'll see here, large shop. And this is all right inside the door, Pop Century specific merchandise. And a few more Pop Century items over here. So, nice large shopping area. Pop Century ears if you need them. finally, like I said, it leads right into their food court. Standard Disney food court here. Nothing too wild and crazy. It's got a mobile order, though we found from the mobile ordering that far less is offered on the mobile order at these food courts than is actually available on site. So keep that in mind when you do your mobile order. It's convenient, but it's not necessarily thorough. This is breakfast time here, so a lot of options available. 5 different counters available this morning, all serving kind of different variations on things. This is the regular, and then back here is the cold section where all the bakery items are, and some bottled drinks. And this is the 80s and 90s sections of Disney's Pop Century Resort. The icon for the 90s is this laptop computer. And if you look closely, it's one of the few places you can still see it listed as Disney MGM Studios up there. Right there on the icon. But only one wing of the hotel is designated as 90s. As we turn around here, this is the pump room, made up to look like floppy disks. We'll try and get a shot for the other side. But on the left here is the restroom area and the guest laundry area. And then this is the 80s and 90s pool area. Just a square pool, so nothing really special. It's got a ping pong table there, it's got some cornhole over there. So a few fun games around it. But we'll go over there and take a closer look at the 80s. We started in the 90s, where we were staying this trip, and we come back. This is the pool area, like I said, square pool, but right in front is this gigantic keyboard. And now we'll take a look at the icons from the 80s that share the 90s pool. On this side, we have the Walkman, for those of you that remember that. And the other side, one of the few places you can see this character in Disney World is Roger Rabbit. So full, big old Roger Rabbit on a can of turpentine. Not sure that's too wise, but that is the 80s section right here with the To the Max and Radical, Preppy, Breakdance. So yeah, now we'll head towards the 70s. I forgot to mention that each of the stairwells is themed as well here at Pop Century. For the 80s, it's a Rubik's Cube. And as we roll around this tree right here, you can see that for the 70s, it's an 8-track. And each one has a few songs, they're made up of course, on the back of it for you to go through the playlist. So if you don't know what an 8-track is, Wikipedia, it'll tell you what it was. Here at the entrance is Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. That'll welcome you to the 1980s and 90s section. This is Hourglass Lake that we'll come to in a little bit. But along the way, there's these signs that go back in time, tell you kind of things that happened each year. But it's also where the Skyliner resides.
It's not funny.
We're going to head this way to the 1970s. And there's a look at the 8-tracks on the side, again, hiding the stairwells. We see this gigantic foosball table here. And then on one side, the icon is the big wheel. And the other side, we can get a better shot of it once we go to midfield, as it were. The other side will be one of the most enduring images, the Mickey phone, with the rotary dial below. So we continue to move back in time as we walk right down the middle of a gigantic foosball table. But there is an icon of Goofy and the Corvette, and this is just as we're coming down. And then you'll see another one of those end caps, if you will, hiding the staircases, I should say, as we enter into the 60s and the yo-yo. So we roll through the middle of the 60s, and here's the feature pool of the resort. It's the Hippy Dippy pool. It's shaped like a flower. It does have some squirting flower items to add to it. There's one right there. But this is right off the main lobby, which we're working our way back around to. And if you look at the distance here, here's the pool bar. Try and get an up close thing as we head to the lobby. But there's Pedal's pool bar. But we're gonna head back, straight back from the lobby. We're gonna catch the icons here. But in addition to the hippy dippy pool, towels are provided, by the way. And they have some games around it. Here's a Connect 4 right here, but there's also a splash pad right behind it for the little ones. We'll try and get closer here. And then as you continue on this path, straight down, behind the splash pad, you'll probably see the Skyliner station. So it's really that close. If you're at these rooms here, which I believe are designated as preferred rooms, they are that close to the Skyliner, to the lobby. It's really right there for you. And here's the little splash pad, shallow waiting area for this one. Now the icons for the 60s are Mowgli and Blue. You see them right there. And on the other side, it looks to be a Play-Doh canister, I believe, with some Play-Doh friends sticking their heads out the top, but we'll make our way around. Right here, the elephant and the giraffe. Play-Doh animals. Let's continue our tour back in time, shall we? All the way back to the 50s. Here as we enter the 50s, we'll see our staircase cover. It's a bowling pin. You'll see these from a long way away, especially riding. But here's the directory of the resort. You'll see the main building all the way down, and this is the full layout. You'll see we started in the 80s and 90s. Worked our way through the 70s, counting down time to the 60s, and now making our way over to the 50s. We're in the 50s, rather, not the 60s. We've left the 60s, we've moved on to the 50s. And here we have Tramp as the icon, and of course on the other side, Lady. This is very similar to the 90s section in that it has a restroom and a laundry facility. Right there on the right, they look like a bowling shoe rack. And the pool here is shaped like a bowling pin. And all the way at the end, you can see our final icon is a jukebox. No, by the way, the pump house is Lady's doghouse with her blanket inside even. Alright, here we are at Pop Century. This is room 8240. We come into an extremely hot room.
It's not that warm, it's just the motion sensor here is not on.
But this is a standard room, standard view.
We're in the 90s section.
We're in the 90s. This is not what I requested.
No.
But here we are, and it's a bed. It's never what we requested. So
we've got
let's start over here on the right.
the beverage station. Coffee
Ice
maker,
bucket.
some coffee, some tea, a few creamers and sugar, beverage cooler, a drawer here.
Brittany loves a beverage cooler.
Yeah.
What happens when you don't have a beverage cooler?
Then you gotta buy a cooler, a styrofoam cooler. Then we've got
Hey, what do we got here?
the Hey Disney.
Yeah, we do. It has an on-off button, so we just learned that so we can turn it on.
Yeah. We've got.
Well, this is
of course,
just a
the
table and chairs.
But it's hiding the Murphy bed back there.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the dresser here, good storage. Here's the safe in here.
Yeah.
3 drawers there. There's also storage under the bed with all these new redesigned rooms. Queen size bed. Little 2 side tables, both with a little storage.
And the plugs on them got 2 USBs and 2 standard.
Yeah. We've got the sliding doors now. I prefer this to the curtain, I think.
Well, yeah, for
For
sure. Little coat rack here on the right.
Let's turn some lights on. Coat rack, more storage.
This is your closet area.
So, and more shelves up here. Here's the hair dryer and the iron are in here. Extra tissue.
Single vanity.
Single vanity. And then the shower with the glass doors, again, in preference to the shower curtain. A decent sized little shower and...
Kind of interesting the way this one...
Oh, the shower has a waterfall.
Yeah.
It's a little different. And it has a...
And a handheld.
Handheld.
I haven't seen that before
I have not seen that.
at the Pop Century. So one thing that's new.
One thing that's different. The artwork, of course, is all the same throughout. I do kind of miss... Well, I guess the Pop Century didn't have necessarily uniqueness, but I feel like it did for the different decades.
Right. It did, actually, at one time.
Different, like, for different areas.
It had like a poster with a different collage for each area.
Yeah, so I kind of miss, like, a little bit of that uniqueness.
I think these are probably up for a redo.
Really? You think so? I feel like they just redid.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's been 5 to 6 years by now. So a little bit of trouble pulling this down. But here we are. Oh, my bad. Hold on.
I was like, something.
Lift it up a little bit. There you go. Brittany's trying to force it.
Didn't know what it was caught up on. All right. And there's Pluto sleeping away.
There.
So
this is the standard room, Pop Century, and here we go. We're back at the bus stop outside. Just outside, there's a separate entrance to everything Pop. Shopping there. But that'll do it. That's the full tour. It's really not that big of a resort, but it is that big of a resort when you break it down. Not too hard to get from place to place. I find it easier than All-Stars, and we like this resort better than All-Stars. It does cost a few extra dollars to stay here, primarily because of the Skyliner access to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. But most times we find that dollar amount worth it. So if you're looking for a value resort, this is one to check out. We like Pop Century and definitely be staying here again sometime. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. We appreciate your time. We'll see you soon in the parks.